Yo, what's going on, family? In today's video, we'll be looking at creepy and strange TikToks that are going to make you question everything.
This month's full moon will be a supermoon with a lot of different names. Let's get into it. The Hunter's Moon is October's full moon, but some Native American tribes refer to it as a blood moon, travel moon, or dying grass moon. It's also a supermoon this year, which can appear 14% bigger and 30% brighter. Supermoons only occur 3 to 4 times a year when a full moon coincides with the moon's closest approach to Earth. But this year, we have 4 consecutive supermoons. The Sturgeon Moon in August, the Harvest Moon in September, the Hunter's Moon in October, and the 4th and final consecutive supermoon, the Beaver Moon, in November. The Hunter's Moon signals an acceleration in hunting season. And it will be the brightest moon of the year because it comes when the moon is reaching its perigee, or its absolute closest approach to Earth in its elliptical orbit. And we'll be able to see this big bright moon on October 17th. Head to cbsnews.com for more information.
Yo, it looks like an upside down pyramid. I'd be tripped out on the highway because I can't stop. I would stop for that though.
When's the last time you guys can recall somebody having to do hurricane recovery during the snow?
Alright, so it's officially started snowing up here near Banner Elk. Nothing's sticking right now, it's probably too warm, but it is snowing up here.
And I don't know about where you guys are at, but in the south it got cold quick. Looks like we went from summer to winter overnight. Crazy.
I swear.
Hello, gang. Taking pictures of our new moon, which is right here.
Oh, that's the new moon?
Unfortunately, this is my phone, so it's not really good. So I'm taking pictures with my Sony as well. And I don't know, I just found some. Here, let's go. Let's try it. Let's go. Here. What is that?
Oh, for real, what is that?
This me? Is this a camera trick? Someone knows, please let me know.
You know, I gotta go get my telescope out for this new moon. Should have known that was gonna happen.
My husband just brought up something very interesting on his $2 bill, y'all. I want y'all to see this. Who the fuck is that? Who is that? Who is that black man on the back of this $2 motherfucker? Who is that? I need to know. Who is that? That's Unc. Who is that?
In the United States, there's only one political party, the business party. It has 2 factions called Republicans and Democrats. Both factions put up conservative Republicans, and the differences between them are very slight. If you want to have a good prediction as to what's going to happen, take a look at the markets. Take a look at the international financial markets. If they thought there was any fear that Clinton would pursue any policies oriented toward the general population, the dollar would be declining, there'd be capital flight and so on. They're quite happy.
I just had a horrible realization, and now you have to have it too. Peplum is coming back. In addition to, like, heroin chic coming back, and, you know, Ozempic being the new thing, and everybody's gotta be skinny, Like, thick is gonna be out, and then the whole skinny thing's gonna be back in. And based on how just clothes and design and stuff are going, especially geared towards like middle and high school girls, bitch, that means peplum is coming back. Of God, don't bring back peplum.
Wait. What's peplum?
I had that with P. Diddy. I went over to say hello to P. Diddy, and Jay-Z was there. I went over to say hello to P. Diddy, and Jay-Z was there, and Leonardo DiCaprio was sat.
All right, I think you've dropped enough names. Okay, I think...
Yo, what's that?
Wait.
Yo. Imagine seeing that. Yo. That's the one that was just talking about on the last vid. Dang. In Buenos Aires, huh? Wow.
Why are they all blue? Why do all they're blue? Why are they blue?
This why your ass should read your Bill of Rights or Declaration of Rights. So, attorneys go to law school, but they don't learn law. They learn administrative procedure. Now, the real law, you only break if you injure somebody or their property. And a real man or woman is able to come forth and swear under the penalty of perjury to an injury and provide evidence of that injury. That's the real law. Maxims of law and the constitutions on this side. Now over there, in this realm that attorneys have created in order to obtain more billable hours, where they can go back and forth with motions and civil rules and all of this stuff, to where people can literally be damaged when they haven't even caused an injury or any damage. That's over there. This is applied to everyone all the time. But when people know the truth, when people know what's really going on, when they know that the Constitution is a trust and that all public servants are the trustees of that trust and the people are the beneficiaries of that trust and that government is supposed to be serving the people, man, we're going to make some things move. But see, now that's what they don't want you to know, though.
3 days ago, Swananoa started smelling like death. The next day, we started seeing little white markers everywhere along the river in the mud. After that, each night, there were equipment crews out there working all night, shutting down during the day. We're not stupid. The numbers on the news are wrong.
Citro Heights, San Francisco. I've already found a stamped brick with ARR, and we know that what used to be there said T, car. It's TCARR. Look at this.
That's a melted building right there.
You can see that there are still fully intact bricks in what is otherwise fully melted, like that one right there. Much of it is melted beyond recognition, but a lot of it, like this, is still obviously a wall. Now, how old is this tree? How long ago did this happen? It's all brick, and it's all melted down like as if it was candle wax hit with a blowtorch. Like flowing down channels. Channels of melted bricks.
Mm-hmm.
Like
I wonder
right
what's
there.
in there.
Look at that. Still bricks sitting there, and that's the same kind of brick that this is, that's stamped. You can even see some sort of other detail right there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, all brick and all melted in a heat event that must have been similar to nuclear fire. Because what temperature would it take to turn bricks into this?
Yo, I wonder what's inside. Like, if that used to be a building, right? I wonder what's on the inside of it, because it looks like it just melted on the outside, and then there might be something preserved on the inside, because if it's a building, it has depth to it, right? There's probably rooms or whatever else on the inside of there. So, you know, when people be saying, oh, there's people living in the mountains, they're living in a house or old building, an old castle or something like that. You just don't know it. But has anyone seen the movie War of the Worlds? That's kind of what it reminds me of. Like, what if there was some War of the Worlds type event and something had some special beam to where it vaporized all the people and also like melted buildings and things of the sort in doing so. And when all the people were like melted and gone, all the dams, because we know the dams, they were here before, right? All these dams, there's no one there to work them. So now they fail. Now you have these mass flooding everywhere. You know what I'm saying? Because there's no people here. They all got vaporized by whatever came here and did that and melted everything. I don't know. It's just a theory.
We also have another major issue going on in our ports right now, and I just wanted to speak on it because I don't think a lot of people understand why they're striking. One of the major reasons I've been seeing coming out of videos and reports from people talking about it is that they get tired of hearing children screaming inside the containers. Yeah, you heard that right. The workers are striking, and one of the main reasons is they're tired of hearing humans being shipped over and screaming and banging on the inside of the shipping containers to get out. I understand we have a serious human trafficking issue in this country. I just did not think it was this bad. Never once did it cross my mind we need to be checking shipping containers for people. Can you imagine how long somebody's been inside of one of those, depending on how long they were waiting to dock? No heat, no air, nothing. I pray for the workers of the ports because I don't think they signed up to deal with people. Pretty sure they were just supposed to move cargo and goods. This is crazy, y'all.
Look at me now. Look at the camera. Look at the camera. It's done. You did it. For as little as what you did it. So you can say you did it.
4.5 hours.
Yeah. Unfortunately, we couldn't get everything in. But
You really cut my foot.
Yeah, let me see your foot.
Yeah.
You really kind of freaked me out about that.
Yeah, your foot is pretty bad.
Yeah.
For those of you that are just now coming into what was supposed to be this 5-part series that I was creating on TikTok, this is Christina Butler. She was a participant at McCamey Manor, and she actually made it all the way through.
Christina, look at me. Look at me.
She was.
Was that a ride? Was that a ride for you?
Oh my god.
It was neat.
I will say, you are a tough chick.
Yeah, she is, man, right? You're tough, man.
You're tougher than Spencer.
No, why'd you come back?
I bet you won't be back now.
So Beth was another participant, and she's sitting right next to her, and you could hear her say, she said, why did she come back? This is actually Christina's second time coming to McCamey Manor.
Oh, will you?
Yeah, she'll be back. She'll come back. She'll be back.
But I know I had to go talk shit on the thing no more.
About what?
I ain't talking shit no more. I know that.
Yeah, that wasn't a very.
So you're tougher than Spencer, and you're tougher
And I
than
made
Beth. Beth, come here. Where's Beth
longer
at?
than Beth did.
Come here, Beth. Sit down here.
Yeah,
Let's
I
talk
was the
about
majority of you.
Sit down,
Wasn't
Beth.
much
Sit down.
of
Sit down. Sit down. Sit down.
You guys make eye contact.
Make eye contact.
Hold hands.
So you guys, so look over here. So, Christina, what do you have to say to Beth?
You're no longer my Facebook, FaceTime.
How many times did you guys Skype?
Oh my god, how many times FaceTime? Will you unblock?
So we can clearly see throughout the time that Christina and Beth have both been here, it looks to seem like Christina has lost a lot of hair, either being cut off or just buzzed off, and even some of her eyebrows as well. It looks like that she even has some injuries on her lips.
I don't know, I'm blocking you now.
So how do you feel about Beth just tossed you under? Look at all the hair she's got still. She's got all of her hair left. Oh, what does that mean? How does that make you feel?
Hey, give me the scissors.
Actually, to be honest, I'm out. Pissed off.
She's like, no. She said she's pissed off.
She did have a full head of hair whenever she started this. Well, again, the second round.
So apparently there's...
Yo, wait. That was like a haunted house or something. I do not want to see any haunted house like that. She look like she just got tortured or something. You know, she ain't got no hair. Face look crazy. Lips look crazy. Talking about her foot cut. Nah, G. It's... What?
Out there who have all been wondering the same exact question their entire life, but they've never asked anyone because they're afraid that they'd seem absolutely insane if they ever did. What do you see when you close your eyes? Do you just see black and nothingness, or do you, like me, sometimes see what appears to be fractals, fuzzies, or geometric shapes? For some people, it's more like the Windows Media Player from the 90s. For others, it's more of a sort of static. Well, I finally learned what it's called. It's called a CEV, closed eye visualization. Apparently there are 5 levels of closed eye visualization. So get in the comments and let me know what you see when you close your eyes, because I wonder if we see the same thing. If when you close your eyes you see what appears to be static, that's a level 1 CEV. And apparently people who can see this with their eyes closed can also train themselves to see this with their eyes open. If when you close your eyes you see light or dark flashes, that would be a level 2 closed eye visualization. You might experience this in color or just in fuzzy shapes. But if yours is more like this one, then that would be level 3. If you see patterns that are in motion and in color. If what you see is like the media player, then this is you. Apparently level 4 and 5 are the most rare. If you can actually see objects appear and disappear, you can do that, then you're on level 4. And level 5 is the most insane in my opinion. People who have level 5 closed eye visualizations can override their physical perception of the real world. It's like literally creating another world in your own mind. Typically this level can only be entered in a sensory deprivation tank. All right.
Oh, I'm seeing all type of stuff. I don't know what I'm seeing right now. But has anyone ever did one of those float tanks, like the sensory deprivation tanks? Y'all did it a few years back. And I was only in there for, I think it was like, I might have been 1 hour. 1 hour in there. And I felt like it wasn't enough time, honestly. Like when the 1 hour ended and I was like, they started to turn the lights on and stuff, is when I felt like I was really starting to get into it, because it was my first time and I'm just in the tank floating, and then it's like you start to feel relaxed, and the next thing you know, your arm or your leg hits the side and you jump. You know, it was just all messed up, but I'm gonna try it again one day.
So we're at part 6. Spoiler alert if you haven't already seen season 7 of Rick and Morty, because the finale theorizes the purpose of the human experience. Now, after our duo climbed out of the fear hole, Morty begins to celebrate that, you know, they conquered their fears. But seeing Rick sitting there like sad made him recognize that that was something he was afraid of. And one of the conditions of the hole was that once you were finished with it, you left fearless. Of them just like trying to defeat all of their residual fears so that they could be finished with the hole. With Rick even breaking the 4th wall, exclaiming that they better not be climbing out this hole 2 seasons from now. Morty theorizes that to end the experience, they may just need to let go of their fear of uncertainty, so they thank the fear hole and leave. After which, the duo returns home, low-key still sort of unsure of whether or not they were in the hole, but they start living life with a sense of normalcy. Morty goes back to school, Rick returns to his experiments, and that in real life opens up and we hear the mysterious man, like over a speakerphone or something, telling him that the experience was over and that his fear of relying on Rick, and asks Rick if he was irreplaceable. Rick asks him to define irreplaceable, and that was enough for Morty to more part, basically breaking down the spiritual aspects of this episode, because like, wow, the writers did their big one on this one. Anywho, let me know what you guys think in the comments, and I'll see you guys on the next one.
Florida's on a giant slab of limestone. Someone did message me and asked me to talk more about this, so I'm going to read to you from scientific information on the internet about limestone. Florida has unique origins. What we become the basement rocks of Florida were once part of other continents. During the early part of the Cenozoic era, Florida was submerged under a warm, shallow ocean, which explains why the entire state has hundreds to thousands of feet of limestone beneath it. Land emerged from the ocean as sea level fell during the Oligocene epoch. During the later part of the Cenozoic era, quartz, sand, and clays were transported to Florida via rivers and marine currents from the Appalachian mountain belt as it eroded over millions of years. Limestone is a sedimentary rock, and Florida geologic strata are divided into formations.
125 years ago, Coca-Cola was doing the math on its sales. I believe by that point it had already abandoned the cocaine content. It was just cola at that point. But once you name something cocaine cola, how do you ever walk back from that? You know what I mean? It's too good of a name. So they noticed something. People bought Coca-Cola in the summer. A little bit in the fall, a little bit in spring, not in the winter. People didn't think of it as a winter drink. So the Coca-Cola advertisers were like, well, wouldn't it be great if we could somehow trick people or convince people or talk people or coax or whatever, brainwash people into drinking Coca-Cola in the winter too. So here's what Coca-Cola advertisers came up with. They thought, what if we somehow worked Coca-Cola into Christmas? Now, I know what you're thinking, Christmas is such a big deal. Not back then. Back then, Easter was the big deal. Christmas was important. People would go do Mass to commemorate Christ's birth, but everybody's born. The real interesting thing is to be killed, executed, and then come back 2 days later. That's fascinating, which is why people had focused on Easter. So what the Coca-Cola advertisers did was, they found a saint who was about to be decanonized, Santa Claus. The Catholic Church was like, he hasn't performed a miracle in a while, let's unemploy him. They grabbed him, they merged him with the story of Saint Nick, and then somebody got inspired. And the inspiration was to merge him with Kris Kringle. Kris Kringle was a Danish thief whose job in the day was a chimney sweep. He could pop his shoulders out and he could fit down a chimney. He would rob your house and then work his way back up, but you'd have a clean chimney. And they merged this together, but they then took St. Nicholas out. He was usually portrayed as a young man, skinny young man in green and brown clothing. They stuck him in Coca-Cola colors, red and white. They even decided to give him some pink in his skin to keep the Coca-Cola colors going. So they made him an old man so he could have white hair. And then they stuck him on the bottom. That's why periodically you'll see Santa Claus on a Coca-Cola bottle or a Coca-Cola can around Christmas time. Because they made him up. And they transformed Christmas. So instead of Christmas being an important event, but not an especially emotional event, an especially involved event, necessarily. I mean, there were nice traditions around it, stockings and maybe a Christmas tree. They turned it into this thing where all of a sudden this mythical being who drinks a lot of Coca-Cola is bringing you presents. I guess that's how he stays up so late, because think about how many hours it would take to bring presents to everybody. And in the process now, the average Christian in the United States at least thinks Christmas is the important Christian holiday. And it's forced other religions to think about what holiday they could promote during that time period, like Hanukkah. Hanukkah was never especially important. I mean, it's important, but not like, you wouldn't evolve like a whole bunch of time and energy and effort around it. But then, right, if you're Jewish and you're like looking at your kids going, we wish we had a Christmas tree, you need something to compete with this. And the next thing you know, there's a Kwanzaa. Because of Coca-Cola advertisers trying to get you to drink more Coca-Cola. They've changed our religion. They've changed our culture. They've changed us economically. So you can imagine what happens when you have a government deliberately thinking about these things.
That is wild to think about.
What if the entertainment industry is nothing but a cover for a worldwide sex ring?
You know, because we was talking about this the other day, and I asked you, what is the music industry? I said, what is the birthplace of it? And you told me how it started with the Italians and the Jews.
And the Jews, yeah.
Can you just get, for people who don't know, like, because I've always thought black people started music, just me.
Well, the thing is we did. We were the culture. The Jews and the Italians monetized it and started setting prices. That's why Clarence Avant was so important to the black community in entertainment. Because he was the go-between for the talent to the powers that be. He understood what their objective was, and he knew what his people needed, and he created that balance, which is why Clive Davis hated him so much. See, people don't want to... Did y'all see when they interviewed Dapper Dan about Diddy?
I haven't seen that one. Please.
They ran into Dapper Dan in Harlem, and they asked him what he thought about what was going on with Diddy and if he knew Diddy. And I love Dapper Dan for this. He said, I grew up with his parents. I knew his parents. He said, and what's going on with him has been going on long before him. Now, his father was a government snitch and a bad actor in the criminal world altogether. The woman that they're saying is his mother was a prostitute and a whore. But there's whispers in the streets of Harlem that Diddy's mother isn't alive. Not his biological mother, but that woman is his aunt.
Whoa.
There are whispers.
Wait a minute.
There are whispers. Diddy's story is so convoluted, but nobody really likes talking about who he was before he became Puffy.
So the question is, what do you think about the whole Puff Daddy situation that's going on right now?
Okay. I want you to listen to this carefully. I grew up with Puff Daddy's parents. No matter what happens in the culture, it didn't just start. All right? No matter what happens in the culture, it didn't just start. A lot of things that you see happen came about from not even from my generation, but the generation that became before me. It's just that. A lot of the things that's happening today because of social media.
Gozi Saba. But Saba is actually longitude and latitude. It's called the 14 Pieces of Osiris. Okay? From the Gates of Thebes to the 3 Pyramids of Giza, 90 degrees. Saba. And it's also the root word for Sabbath. Saturn, the 7th day he rested. And Sabbat. The Jewish people, they also spell it this way. We call it Red Monday. There is no separation of church and state. Okay? At the end of September, when Congress, isn't it funny how Congress always recess during Jewish holidays? And then in September, after vernal equinox and all their high holy days, and Sukkot, which is really Pallades, all the 9 Supreme Court justices, keep in mind that number 9, okay? They go to the Catholic Church with the Jews and the Muslims in Washington, D.C. It's called Red Sunday. The following day is called Red Monday, and that's when they get back on the bench. But the bench is turned upside down on Sunday, so no law is interpreted. There's no separation of church and state, you know, because all three of those religions that come out of one, okay, they meet and they have a day of unity, and we can't do it. And they using our sciences.
This video is for entertainment purposes only.
Now I want you to see in here at Whole Foods how much distilled water they do have and spring water. This is just this one little side. You guys can see how far back it goes. Let me show you the other aisle. I need you to see just how many different bottled waters they have these days. This is the entire aisle of bottled waters, whether they are alkaline, whether they are pH balanced, whether they're spring water, whether they're sparkling water, whether it is distilled water. Then you have flavored water. You have a little bit of absolutely everything, because this is the new push. But what I want to know is if on the back of these, because I've never actually paid attention when I'm at the store, if it shows you exactly where it is coming from. Oh, looky there. Sourced Frontier Springs, located in New Tripoli, Pennsylvania, Bangor, Pennsylvania, Foster Township, Pennsylvania. And what's interesting is exactly what is happening in Pennsylvania right now with the EPA and their water. Okay, so we're going to talk about the water in Pennsylvania. We're also going to talk about Biden's new executive order regarding the environment, the fact that Pennsylvania is in the hot seat for water pollution. Iowa, though, with a possible water pollution solution. And then just something else that a person, Kat, sent me on Instagram that I want to show you guys. It's extremely important. So first off, let's start with Pennsylvania. We'll get to Biden in a second, but let's go to Pennsylvania real quick. I want you guys to know that we've been talking about the water sources and how they're all a little contaminated, if you will, for numerous weeks. Numerous weeks we've talked about this, whether it's the Ohio River, Delaware River, whether it's Mississippi, whether it is the Gulf itself, all these little side streams and creeks leading into these bigger rivers. And it turns out it's bad everywhere. We know this already. But the EPA agrees to make Pennsylvania cut Chesapeake Bay pollution. You guys hear that, right? EPA agrees to make Pennsylvania cut Chesapeake Bay pollution. The fact that it has to be made to happen is a big deal to me. The fact that states don't on their own want to stop the pollution from going into the waterways that their residents drink from is really weird to me. And again, I know it's always profits over people. And when the EPA has to step in and say, hey, listen, no, we agree that it's too much pollution, and so we're going to make you stop. It's kind of a big deal to me. I mean, I don't fully trust the EPA as it is. We already know that. I think they mishandled everything from the get-go when it comes to the Norfolk Southern train derailment in East Palestine, Ohio, and they've mishandled numerous things since then. But I want to show you guys here, first off, this lovely little picture of the Chesapeake Bay. Yes, I'm in my car. It's where we're recording from today. You guys will be fine. So according to this, Pennsylvania must minimize its outsized role in polluting the Chesapeake Bay, according to a proposed settlement agreement announced on Thursday.
Vinegar versus parasites, huh? Ew. Those squirmy things.
These are conspiracy theories my sixth graders told me that they believe in, and I'm going to try to read them with a straight face. Bill Nye the Science Guy is a Russian spy.
Ooh.
When I asked them to elaborate further, they could not. Birds...
Of course not. They not spies themselves. They not finna snitch on themselves.
They're not real, and they are FBI drones. I've heard this one before. Makes sense to me. Michael Jackson is still alive. For reference, these students were born after 2009, so that was interesting. Thanksgiving was only made so America could have a holiday in each month. When I asked a student to elaborate, they said that the story between the Pilgrims and Native Americans were fabricated. Last one, Mr. Beast scams people for subscribers. These are the top 5.
Sound pretty legit to me. Shout out to the kids and their conspiracy theories, because they own to something. You can't just believe anything you hear nowadays. You got to question everything and then come to the conclusion. Hey, it might be true, it might not, but do your own research at the end of the day. But yeah, guys, these are some of the most creepy and strange TikToks that are out there. If you like the content, don't forget to subscribe, turn your notification bells on, and until next time, YouTube,